Would have known I would have to make a video explaining why DeepKnight is not balanced. Because it seems that the people that play this game don't have any concept of what normal balanced PvP is supposed to look like. I get it, your brain is completely fried because you're used to rogue lineage. But my brother in Christ, let me explain to you why DeepKnight is not a balanced class. And it's objectively a terrible class. A terribly made class. Objectively, a terribly made class. I'm gonna literally read. I told ChatGPT exactly what it's about, what the class. I didn't even tell about all the moves. I told ChatGPT about a few moves, but I'm gonna explain to y'all why DeepKnight is not balanced. Let's go here. First, we're gonna start with what is a blockable move, right? Let's read it. I'm gonna read it for y'all. I might put it on screen so y'all can read it too, but I'm gonna read it. Okay. A move is blockable if the startup and active frames of the attack allow enough time to react and block. That's a blockable move. That's one of the traits that a blockable move needs to have. The game's block mechanic could be hold block, press guard, directional input, whatever the input is designed to stop that type of attack. The move does not break guard or go through guard with chip damage only. Okay. Remember that. Remember that chip damage point there. It can be interrupted mid animation by a guard and usually doesn't cause guard break or guard crush unless it's charged or special. Okay. Now we know that, right? That's clear. Now let's get to the other point. A move is not blockable if it ignores block entirely, like a grab, a command throw, or armor breaking move. It causes guard break if blocked, or the attacker has armor or super armor and can power through your guard punish. Okay, now listen carefully. This is what the definition is of something that's blockable, right? That's what ChatGPT says. Now, I gave ChatGPT the information about the class a little bit. I said, okay, so listen to this. Deep Sacrifice, 15-second cooldown, raise your spear, damaging and stunning yourself and those around you. Shortly afterwards, you generate HP at a fast rate. Deep Sacrifice pierces, not breaks, block, and mana shield. Then this class also has a move called Light Piercer, which essentially is literally light arrows that go through your mana shield and they don't guard break. But they stun you anyway. Plus, they still do damage. Not chip damage. No, definitely not chip damage because I have a clip of me literally getting hit by Light Piercer while blocking, and this shit shredded my HP bar regardless. So yeah, they still do damage, not chip damage, full damage through your block. Okay, now, guess what ChatGPT says about this? Let's analyze Deep Sacrifice and Light Piercer with the concept of blockable in mind. First thing he says, is it blockable? Question mark? No. No, it's not blockable. This is a block piercing move. That means it does not care whatever you're blocking or mana shooting. It goes through it. It doesn't destroy your guard. No guard break or guard crush animation, but still applies the full effect. Damage plus stun. You get slowed down if you get hit by Deep Sacrifice, even if you're blocking. Keyword difference, pierce means ignore guard, break means remove guard. It doesn't have to guard break to do damage. Clearly, it pierces guard. It does not give a shit. So Deep Sacrifice is unblockable in function. Deep Sacrifice is unblockable in function. For all you fuck niggas that say it's blockable, it's not blockable. The whole function of it does not allow for blocking. Even though it doesn't destroy your guard, the game allows you to hold block, but the move hits you anyway. That's not blockable. Light arrows that go through mana shield don't guard break but still stun and do full damage through block. Like this is about Light Piercer. Is it blockable? Not really. Just like above, the move does not guard break, so you don't enter a broken animation, but it pierces your guard, meaning blocking does nothing to stop it. You get full stunned and take full damage despite blocking. That's just functionally unblockable, even if your block remains intact. Is it hitting now for all you idiots? Is the buffoonery finally done? Do you finally understand what I'm trying to get at? Or are y'all really this dumb? Are we this dumb? Like, come on, bro. We can't be this dumb, right? We can't be this dumb, right? Summary. Just because a move doesn't break your guard doesn't mean it's blockable, okay? If a move ignores the block mechanic and still apply terms, why is this so hard to grasp for people in my comment section? In both examples I gave, they are not blockable even though they don't destroy the guard. This is a Pierce mechanic. It's intentionally different from guard break. So when someone says those are blockable moves, they're technically wrong. Why is this so hard to grasp for people? Like, I'm literally reading the conversation. Dude said, why is he complaining about deep sacrifice and light piercer doing 50% of it HP? What the fuck? Maybe I'm complaining about it because I can't do anything to stop it. Is that crazy to say? Like, how, bro? I'm starting to realize, like, the only reason people play this game is because they actually don't know anything better to play. They really don't have anything better to play. Because you're not gonna convince me that you think it's normal that a move can do damage to you and you literally cannot stop it. There's no stopping it. There's no stopping this shit. So I asked ChatGPT again. Now take this into. This is where I started adding a few more things. Where I said impale is also a thing that's in the moveset. I said now take into account this game has injuries that multiply damage. Multiply damage taken by 1.5. You know, so actually it's like 0.5 because you'll get it. Just read it. I'll put it on the screen. So imagine being in class. So I said, imagine being in class with 169 HP. Light Piercer does 11 damage per arrow and is 3 arrows. You get hit by a move called Impale, which gives you injury, which isn't a status effect. It's a legit permanent injury, semi-permanent injury actually, until you find a external NPC, a doctor, to fix it. But hey, look, you're mid-fight, so it's not possible to go run off immediately. Now that you have the injury, all damage taken is, I already said it, 1.5. Multiplied by 1.5. But mind you, the injury also stops your whole entire region for 10 seconds. Now tell me what part of this sounds balanced to you. This is ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT, what sounds balanced about this? Mind you, this is only 3 things that DeepKnight has, and he already says that it's unbalanced as fuck. Look here. None of it. Let's break this down piece by piece and explain why it's not balanced at all from a game design and a PvP fairness perspective. What's happening here? Injury mechanic. Injury is 1.5 times damage taken, right? And regen is disabled for 10 seconds. It's not a status effect, so you can't cleanse it mid-fight. It requires an external NPC doctor to remove it. What about Light Piercer? Light Piercer does 11 damage 3 times. That's 33 damage. Pierces block, full stun, full damage. With injury, how much damage do you think it does with injury? All he did was the 33 damage that you would do, he did that times the 1.5. Now it's 49.5 49.5 damage. Essentially 30% of your total HP bar gone in one range move. Do you realize how dumb this sounds? So that means if you're a dagger class, you lose 30% of your fucking HP bar to a move that's not blockable because you have an injury. Okay, let's continue. Impale causes the injury. The moment you're hit by it, your defensive and recovery options are hard locked for 10 seconds. You become a fool. You become a free kill setup. You literally become a free kill setup. Let's do the math. You have 169 HP. One Light Piercer is around 50 damage with injury. So that means your turn, bro, you immediately get freshy HP after you get hit by those 3 while blocking. Follow-up combo after that, probably enough to finish you. So yeah, we know what DeepKnight does. So yeah, you're probably dead. Yeah, you can't block, can't recover, can't disengage because all of that assumes your systems still work, and they don't because you're stunned because you're trying to block Light Piercer. Crazy game design, right? Now he gets into why is this horribly unbalanced. First, punishment without counterplay. You cannot block Light Piercer. You cannot stop the injury once it's applied mid-fight. You cannot regen after injury, even passively. You have to wait 10 seconds. Hard snowball mechanic. One hit impale instantly tilts the fight in the attacker's favor. The injury is not a temporary debuff. It's a semi-permanent state requiring external removal. That's like a marked for dead status that you can't do anything about unless you leave the match, which in PvP is unreasonable. Unavoidable burst window. Light piercing doesn't just punish bad defense, it ignores it. Combine that with injury, it's your time to live is cut in half instantly. And since it's stunned, you can't even fight back properly. What would make it balanced? Oh, I didn't even read this part, but what would make it balanced? Let's see what ChatGPT says. If injury was curable mid fight with an in fight with an in fight item or after 8 seconds, which would be great game design actually if y'all made it like that. Instead of making an actual injury, y'all could have made it like a fucking status effects. That would make so much more sense. Same goes for Fair Frozen, but we're not gonna get into that right now. If Light Piercer did chip damage or applied partial stun if blocked, that would be great. If piercing moves came with longer windup, so they're reactable. So if a dude does a spear up in the air, that you can reply to that and be like, oh shit, he about to do deep sacrifice, let me get the fuck out of here. Or if the injury duration was capped, instead of being a doctor only fix, I don't know, that would be pretty smart. Well, the final verdict of ChatGPT is this is textbook overtuned PvP design. It gives one player a stackable, unblockable, uncounterable advantage just for landing one hit. And the cost of taking that hit isn't a temporary disadvantage, it's a semi-permanent state that sets up an easy kill combo. Injury should never stack with pierce-based damage unless it's extremely rare or comes with real risk. This setup is overtuned, unfun to fight against, punishing to the newer and weaker players, encouraging cheese and range spam over skillful play. Let me know if you want suggestions on how to rebalance the system. I can give you a full breakdown. ChatGPT could help Grim so much, but Grim is too egotistical to even listen. Now, let's get to the last part. This is where I told him how Deep Sacrifice actually does extra damage if you have an injury too. Yes, it does. Everybody knows that Deep Sacrifice stacks with the injury that you get for some odd reason. Who knows why? I don't know. Terrible game design. Let's get into it. Okay. Oh, ChatGPT says, bruh, that's objectively horrendous game design. Let's dissect just how deep the flaw goes when you stack percent damage with a 1.5 times global damage multiplier from an injury effect. The math of pain. Let's say your HP 169. You get injured 1.5 times damage taken. Regen locked. Then hit by Deep Sacrifice, which does 5% of your HP per tick. And apparently the percent damage scales with injury, meaning the 5% of the 169 is 8 damage, right? Because 5% it's always gonna do 5%. That's true damage right there, right? That's true damage. Put that times the 1.5, there you go, 12 damage. But do you understand how stupid this is? Now it does 12 damage, right? That's a lot for the dagger class. But you have to understand it's percent damage. So it's always going to do a lot. Regardless of what class. You could have 300 HP and it's going to do 5% of the 300 HP that you have. So it's still going to take damage. You're still going to take fat damage from it. For a move that's not blockable, that's too much damage to be taken. That's way too much damage. Way too much. So if Deep Sacrifice sticks multiple times, which it likely does, since its damage damages those around you, then you're eating through HP damage that bypasses normal scaling, cannot be blocked, can't regen through, and stacks with an injury state you can't fix mid-fight. What this actually means, you are punished multiple times for being hit once, loss of regen, 1.5 times multiplier, all damage types including percent damage once are amplified. You're now vulnerable to unblockable, piercing, stun heavy spam, light piercing, deep sacrifice, and so forth. It could be any move. It could be any move, but you're fucked. What does ChatGPT say about this? Oh, here he getting real serious over here. Design red flags. Percent damage plus injury is absurd scaling. Percent-based attacks are supposed to be fair because they ignore defense, bypass stat scaling, do static predictable damage. Once you multiply them, you break their balance function. It's no longer flat. It's scaling with a debuff you can't control. Stacking unblockable damage sources. Deep Sacrifice pierces guard. Light Piercer pierces guard. You literally cannot mitigate this damage by any mechanic. It's just force damage intake. Regen lockout is soft dead sentence. Fighting in a game where healing is disableable, damage is amplified, creates a dead spiral. The moment you get injured, you've lost your defensive tools and your sustains tools. That's just game over unless you outplay massively, which you're probably not gonna do because you're fucked. What does ChatGPT say? Puts a fucking clown emoji. This is clown level balancing. I did not tell ChatGPT to do this. I just told him about how stupid it is and how I think it's stupid. He puts a whole clown emoji. Bro, you're getting clowned by an AI, bro. The AI even says that your game is shite. Come on, bro. This setup is punish stacked, unavoidable, unreactable, unrecoverable, and is ridiculously frustrating to play against. Even worse, it rewards cheese and abuse and range spam, not actual skill expression. Game design verdict given by ChatGPT himself: 1 out of 10. If I were grading this system, concept of injuries is fine. I agree. Implementation is laughable, laughably bad. Like, it's terrible. Letting percent-based moves kill with injury is just brain dead. You're getting called brain dead by AI, bro. If you want help redesigning this mechanic so it actually has counterplay and depth, I can sketch out a full fix plan. Let me know. Wow. Wow. That's amazing. Matter of fact, I'm gonna ask them to break it down. Break it down for me. So since we already got into it, let's break it down. Now, here we go. Let's balance this class without gutting it, while making it fair for actual PvP instead of for cheese lords. We'll fix the 3 core issues: block piercing, spam, injury stacking, and percent damage scaling. Fix light piercer, unblockable multi-stun spam. Let's listen what he got to say. Current problem. Goes through block, hits 3 times, applies full stun and damage through guard. Skills with injury, unfair burst from range. That's the problem with it right now. Balanced version. Make block reduce damage by 50%. Wow. That's already a great add-on. But still allow minor stagger, not full stun. Great. It's that simple, really. Add a 0.5 wind-up delay with a visible light glow so players can react to it. Wow, amazing. Wind-up, that's all you gotta do. It's just a wind-up. Cooldown increase slightly from 6 seconds to 8 seconds. Thank you so much. Stun only applies if you're not blocking. Great. Still good poke tool, still hurts injures players, but now has counterplay and isn't auto hit spam. Thank you. That's for light piercer. Now, how do we fix deep sacrifice? Pierces block, that's what it does, plus percent damage, plus regen abuse. Current problem: pierces block and mana shield. Does AoE damage plus stun, also heals you rapidly after, free sustain plus damage. Scales with injury, making percent damage unbalanced. That's the current problem with it. The balanced version, let's listen what ChatGPT has to say. Make the percent damage unaffected by injury. It should be flat by design. Exactly. If it pierces guard, reduce the stun radius. Small AoE only. That's all they have to do. Healing only starts after 1 to 2 seconds of no action. No regen mid combo. Amazing. Add a clear wind-up animation and sound to telegraph it. Wow. Still a strong trade move with heal, but you can avoid or punish it if timed right. How simple is that? How simple is that? Now, for the injury system, the root problem. The current problem is injury applies 1.5 times damage taken, right? Blocks all regen for 10 seconds, can only be cured by external doctor. Stacks with unblockable and percent-based moves is broken. It's completely broken. That's the problem with it right now. Balanced version. Limit injury duration to 10 to 15 seconds max. Wow. Wow. ChatGPT could come up with this, but you can't? Wow. Let players use a healing item or med patch, like anything basically for it. Anything. You know, any type of healing items. Or a health pod that could fix it. Who knows? Mid fight to reduce it, rare drop or cooldown base. Who knows? I don't know. You know, but anything that allows you to fix it mid game, mid game, without having to fucking run to a doctor. During injury, 1.5 times damage stays, right? But regen is only halved, not disabled. Because disabling regen is absolutely ridiculous. Make injury visible with a red pulse or effect so opponents can focus it. Exactly. Exactly. That's all. And for the focus, ChatGPT doesn't know it's not like a in-depth game. Like you're not using real human, bro. It's like you're using blocky fucking characters. So there's no focusing on it. But more of an effect so people know that he's injured for that type of for like 15 seconds, for example. You can attack him and you can do more damage. That would be amazing. That would be amazing. Still punishes players who get hit, but not guaranteed death sentence. Allows comeback potential. It's amazing. That's all you have to do. The fact ChatGPT can come up with better shit than the fucking developers themselves is fucking crazy. So, yeah. ChatGPT just gave you the fix. ChatGPT just gave you the fix for just those two moves. Those three moves. Fucking crazy. Fucking crazy, bro. It's fucking ridiculous that people don't understand that this shit's not balanced. It's fucking ridiculous. But it's whatever, bro. It just shows how dumb this fucking player base is, bro. Like, y'all niggas is really stupid. There's no way you're this dumb. There's no way you're this dumb. The fact I have to explain it, I have to go in depth, almost in depth. I didn't even go in depth because I could go crazy on this whole thing, but I'm not going to do all that. But this is just three moves. And if you fix these three moves, this class will be so much more balanced already. So much more balanced.